Since I'm in Mexico right now, for the purposes of this video, the speeds I'm about to hit really are okay. There they are. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt. This is the Z-List Cars, and today we are going to be looking at one of my favorite classes of cars in the entire world, the German flagship luxury sedan, and we are going to be looking at one of the best of all time, the big bad BMW 7 Series. Specifically, we're going to be talking about this 2018 BMW 750i xDrive, which is finished in a beautiful $5,200 BMW individual paint program color called Grigio Telesto. This one also features the M Sport styling package, which has the upgraded 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, the M Sport brakes with the blue painted calipers, the gloss black kidney grills, and a number of other different option packages. So one could argue that this does look like a bloated 3 Series, and I've heard that a lot from critics, and I can see where they're coming from, but I do think the styling is beautiful on these. It's still understated. It might be a little less distinctive than the S-Class, I'll give it that. I'd say out of the flagship luxury sedans, possibly the 222 generation S-Class of similar years to this probably has a little bit more king of the road appearance than this at the end of the day, but these are still gorgeous. They have quite the commanding presence. The M Sport styling package with these 3 large air dams up front really gives it a commanding look. I love the gloss black kidney grills combined with this color, and the fact that they are all long wheelbase models at this point really gives it nice proportions. The larger wheels help. This particular one with the M Sport styling package has the shadow line trim around the window surrounds instead of chrome, which I think makes it look a little more modern. You also have the blue M Sport brakes, I should say blue calipers with which do represent the upgraded brakes. This one is over a cognac. The Grigio Telesto has a cognac interior, which I think is gorgeous. Napa leather everywhere, and first generation of 7 Series to come standard with a panoramic moonroof. They offer a Sky Lounge LED roof like the one you see in Rolls-Royces. It kind of looks like stars at night, but this one does not have that. I think the rear end is gorgeous with the trim strip connecting the taillights on this particular one done up in gloss black on the M Sport, which I think looks great. As I mentioned, gloss black exhaust finishers with the 4 tips, 2 on each side. With a twin turbocharged V8, 445 horsepower, 480 pound-feet of torque, BMW's xDrive all-wheel drive system, this thing can rocket to 60 miles an hour in the 4-second range, low 4-second range. With the amount of luxury features I'm going to go over in the interior, nice little overview, the performance of this vehicle, and the fact that its MSRP was about $120,000 brand new, and it is available right now at 3 years old with 35,000 miles for under half of that. I really think this presents a rival to, or at least an alternative to, something like a pre-owned Bentley or Rolls. Sure, it doesn't have that badge, but it has the power, the acceleration, the commanding road presence, or close to it, and the similar amount of amazing materials and luxuries inside. That is why I think this presents an amazing value when compared with all of its luxury sedan competitors. S-Class, A8, even Lexus LS all have their own hallmarks as well, and things that are very appealing about them, but a nicely optioned 7 Series, especially the 50, as an off-lease vehicle basically, I think makes it one of the best. And by the way, let me give a huge shout out to Hi-Line AutoHaus, where I borrowed this car from. Check out their website at www.highlineautohaus.com. Link will be in the description. They are exclusively a luxury car dealership in Charlotte, North Carolina, mainly off-lease, one-owner, extremely clean cars at extremely competitive prices, so thank you, Hi-Line. All right, hopping inside the 750. This particular model, we are greeted by the beautiful cognac Napa leather interior. Got my headrest sort of contoured to fit my big old head, and BMW has adapted the quilted pattern on the upholstery quite nicely in the G12 7 Series, and I think that is a very rich and high-end look to the seats. Harman Kardon sound system is standard on these. A Bowers & Wilkins Diamond 3D sound system is optional. During the day you can't really make it out, but the ambient lighting is quite configurable and lovely in this car. And basically all of your upper door panels and dashboard surfaces are covered in Napa leather. And inside you're greeted by a fully digital dynamic display. The cluster is configurable per the driving mode that you are in. So, you know, putting it in sport is going to kind of change the display to more red colors. You have your standard black display gauges for comfort, and Eco is more or less of a blue readout that sort of gives you the efficiency updates on the miles per gallon you're gaining by being in Eco mode. And iDrive system is about at its best in this iteration. You know, it really at this point in time is a great system to use. You can go ahead and do gesture control if you want to get the volume to go up, right? Or down. Full touchscreen. So that's a really nice thing. I mean, up until about 2016-17, it was not a touchscreen. So that's really works for some people. I'm honestly used to the iDrive scroll wheel, which in this case is the ceramic controls, this kind of special glazed finish on here. It does show fingerprints, as you see here. But it is a great system to use, very quick, very responsive. This one has sort of this fine line dark wood, as they call it. So you have this kind of like dark wood look with these sort of little white lines in it. I think it looks pretty high-end and nice. This one does have the anthracite headliner. So anthracite is the color, and Alcantara, really the suede, is the material. All G12 7 Series from 2016 and onwards are an LI. They used to be called, the 7 Series was a 740, 750, 745, whatever the iteration. There is your LI, and then there's your I. So LI always stood for long wheelbase, I was your shorter wheelbase. And at this point in time, they just decided if you're going to get a 7 Series, you probably want the long wheelbase. So they are all, at least in the US, for the US market, all long wheelbase. And I just feel like I'm in an absolute limo back here. I have acres of space between myself and the front seat, especially my knee room. I probably have close to a foot between my knee and where the passenger front seat back starts. You have nice wood trim panels on the back of the front seats. I can go ahead and control my power sunshade at the touch of a button here. Same goes for the shades behind me and the shades that are on the window on the other side. I can control the rear moonroof back here. It is quite a bright day, but the nice thing is at the push of a button, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Before we get this thing out on the road, let's take a listen to the sound of the N63 in the 750 xDrive, 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. Experience in the 750. So this probably has some of the lightest steering of any BMW I've ever driven, but that is true of most of the modern F platform and up BMWs with the electric power steering. The 7 Series, I believe, is the only one, at least up until this point, that had the Comfort Plus mode in the steering and you know, throttle driving modes for the settings. It is extraordinarily light and pleasant, and it kind of wallows and wafts a little bit, sort of like an old Cadillac, but it does have an adaptive air suspension that can be raised and lowered. And let's remember, this is also a vehicle that's focused on comfort and a smooth magic carpet ride, as I like to call it, probably more so than any other BMW. Little gas going here. Very effortless. I don't know how much of that noise translates, but nice little muted growls. The ZF 8-speed transmission is a pleasure to use, as always. Snaps off quick shifts in sport mode, nice and relaxed and very smooth in comfort. As in just about any car of this class, when you ride along in these, you just feel like you could sit in them all day and you are ready for a very long road trip. The seat is a 22-way adjustable, I believe, with the comfort headrest, my articulating backrest that can kind of bend the seat at the halfway point or not. The quilted Napa leather makes for quite the comfortable surface. My heads-up display in full color, not visible to the camera, but visible to me. Ooh. Man, for a car of its size, the 750, the G12 generation, properly hauls. And I've driven the W222 S550. I've driven the similar generation Audi A8 4.0, and these are really the direct competitors. Most of the flagship German luxury sedans are available with a 6-cylinder engine. The 740 is still no slouch in these. I mean, BMW straight sixes are awesome, and you know, they make a little extra power in the 7 Series iteration. The Mercedes-Benz does an S450, and I believe these days the newer Audi A8s are only available with a supercharged V6 unless you go for the S8, in which it is the twin-turbo V8. But they all feel, I'd say from 2015 or so, and roughly in the couple years beyond, the A8, the 7 Series, the S550 with the 8 cylinders all feel pretty similar, but wow. The 750, I'd say, feels just about the strongest in terms of acceleration. So in normal cruising, when you're not exploring the capabilities of the V8, it is very clear that, to use an age-old cliche expression, that this vehicle is a technological marvel, or even worse, a technological tour de force. But it's true. I mean, there are 5 different ways alone to interact with the infotainment system. You can make gestures, you can talk to it, you can use the scroll wheel, and right as I say all these things and make little motions with my hand, it's already reacting and I don't know what it's doing. So that is really what you get with a 7 Series. If you're looking for probably the best full-size luxury sedan in terms of power, speed, and driving experience, but you don't want to spend M760 or S-Class AMG money, a 750 has got to be a really strong contender. But not only power and speed, I mean, you know, you can get the ultimate fast big sedan with one of, like I say, the AMG or the M's or even an M5. But if you want the full-size experience with a lot of power and a lot of tech, and you don't necessarily need to have the S-Class, or that's not quite your thing, or maybe, you know, you could afford a Bentley or a Rolls, but you don't really feel like spending $300,000, $400,000, I gotta tell you, a nicely optioned 750 is quite a nice option to have, and it's probably one that I'd recommend to people looking at something like this. Overall, this 750 is an excellent value. I think it's, again, one of the best full-size flagship luxury sedan options you can get, and really has been for about the last 20 years. So go to Hi-Line AutoHaus.com, check it out. This one is for sale right now, and I'm going to have a little more V8 fun here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this is your first ride with the Z-List Cars, please consider subscribing, share my videos, like my videos, and all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram at the Z-List Cars. And if this is not your first ride, thank you guys for tuning back in, and I will be back with another video very soon without as much of a delay in between. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.